Hi everyone and welcome to a reading vlog that will not end until I find a 5-star romance. That's 10 stars, but you know what I mean. I have seen quite a few booktubers do this kind of vlog recently and I wanted to have a go at doing it myself. I'm not sure actually who came up with this idea first, but I know that I recently saw Charlott from Clumsy Charlotte do this vlog. I think it was a few months ago, but she inspired me to have a go at doing this myself because I really enjoyed her vlog, even though I don't think it quite went to plan. But yeah, I'll leave her video linked in the description if you would like to check it out. I have chosen romance books specifically for this vlog because I feel like I haven't read that many 5-star romances this year. I can't remember actually the last 5-star romance that I read, but I want one more, at least one more, before the end of the year. The first book that I'm going to be reading is Exes and O's by Amy Lea. It is following a main character called Tara, who is a bookish content creator, and I really loved that. I really love following books where the main character does make content online, and I've never read a book that has a bookish content creator, so that's really exciting. But basically, she loves romance books, and in particular, she really enjoys second chance romances. So following some unfortunate luck, basically her love life recently hasn't been going very well, so she decides to track down all of her exes and see if she can manufacture her own second chance romance. Helping her in this mission is her new roommate Trevor, who is the opposite of her. He does not do romance or relationships, however, they gradually become friends and maybe something more. I have read another book by this author. I think I read that earlier this year and I liked it but didn't love it, so I'm hoping that this is going to fall into the love category. Let me know in the comments if you have any predictions on how many books I'm going to need to read to find a 5 stars, but otherwise I'm going to stop rambling and get into the vlog. So thanks for watching and I hope you enjoy. So I am currently around halfway through Exes and O's by Amy Lea. I'm not feeling very well at the moment, but I wanted to let you know some thoughts at the halfway point because there's a good chance I'm going to finish this today. So currently I don't think this is going to be a 5 stars, but it might be a strong 4 stars, and it really depends on how it ends because I really like the main character Tara. I think she is a really fun main character to follow, and I like that she's a hopeless romantic, and I'm enjoying following her on this mission to find love. It feels like a rom-com movie. It's actually reminded me a little bit of the film What's Your Number with Anna Faris and Chris Evans. In that film we're following a main character who's tracking down all of her exes to see if she would be willing to give any of them a second chance, and it was a really fun film and this is a really fun book. I feel like that setup and that plot just gives many opportunities for funny things to happen. I am here for the chaos and yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I do wish that this was dual POV because I'm finding it really believable that the main character Tara is attracted to Trevor, the love interest, but because we're not getting his thoughts, I haven't felt anything yet to suggest that he likes her in a more romantic way, but maybe that'll come in the second half. I do feel like this is moving quite slowly, but that might just be because I've been reading it slowly. I do plan on finishing the second half this afternoon, and then I will let you know my final thoughts. But yeah, at this halfway point, I think it's going to be a 4 stars, which is slightly higher than what I gave the first book, Set on You. This is a series of companion novels, so you don't have to read them in order. In fact, if you didn't like Set on You, this has a very different tone and the characters feel quite different. Yeah, even if you don't like the first book, I think you could enjoy the second book. So I have now finished X's and O's by Amy Lea, and I'm going to give this 4 stars. It was close at one point to being a 5 stars, but when I compare this to other romance books that I've given 5 stars, I don't think I liked this one as much. It had potential. I really liked the humour in this, and there were parts where I was laughing out loud because I was getting a little bit of secondhand embarrassment. But yeah, there were just some parts where I thought the dialogue was really funny and it was really entertaining. I've seen a few reviews from people saying that they didn't like the main character in this and that they found her a bit annoying, and I can kind of understand why, but I really appreciated some of the discussions in this around breakups and how if you act in an emotional way when you're going through a breakup, especially as a woman, some people might say that you're being too much and that you need to calm down and that you're overreacting, but showing emotion when you're going through something like a breakup is actually quite normal. And yes, some people take it too far, and there are some things that aren't justified, like keying someone's car, which the main character actually did that at one point apparently. So yeah, the main character was a little bit unhinged, but yeah, I did still think there were some really interesting discussion points in this around breakups, and I really appreciated that. I think the main reason this didn't give me that 5-star feeling is actually because of the romance, and it was mostly Trevor that I struggled with. And it wasn't that I disliked Trevor. I actually thought that the friendship between the two main characters was quite sweet. Their relationship had a lot of build-up and it felt like a proper slow burn right up until it wasn't. And it all felt a little bit rushed towards the end and not quite believable. It just felt a little bit forced to me. I could understand why Trevor had a lot of issues with communicating and being open about his feelings, but there were certain things that he said which I did feel came out of nowhere. Usually when I'm reading a romance book and the main character is questioning if the love interest actually likes them, I would be thinking, come on, it's completely obvious, of course they're in love with you. But with this, like, the main character was at one point questioning how the love interest was feeling, and I was thinking, yep, I have no idea either, so I completely understand where you're coming from. Also, I feel like the way that Trevor is described in the book doesn't match what he looks like on the front cover, and I know it's a really little thing, but Trevor in the book is described as being heavily tattooed and really dark and edgy and mysterious, and that's not the vibe that I get from the front cover. I don't know whether it's just me that feels that way, but I look at the front cover and it doesn't scream bad boy to me. But anyway, that's just a little thing that I wanted to mention. Overall, I did still like this and I would recommend it. I gave it 4 stars, so a pretty solid romance. And I have now moved on to the next book that I'm going to be reading for this vlog, and that is Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. This is the 4th and final book in the Twisted series, which is a series that I have enjoyed up until this point. Book 2 is probably my favourite at this point, but I do think that there's potential for me to really like book 4. I've seen a few reviews from people saying that this is quite boring, but actually that doesn't put me off, because one of the issues that I've had with other books in this series is that they take things a little too far. Generally with this series, I feel like you really have to suspend your disbelief, and I'm down for a book that's maybe a little more chill. So far, I'm actually quite liking this. I really like the main character, Stella. Stella? Struggling to get my words out today, but the main character Stella is a fashion influencer and she is struggling with her content. She feels like her growth has been quite stagnant recently, so her agent suggests that she starts fake dating someone because people tend to be interested in the personal lives of influencers. So she ends up forming this agreement with Christian, who is the CEO of a security company. He's another side character from the first few books that we've already met. And yeah, they form this arrangement where they pretend to fake date each other. Not the most realistic situation, I will admit that. However, these books are the perfect escapism. They don't take themselves too seriously and the writing just flows really well. So I am happy to be reading this. I don't know whether it's going to be 5 stars. I feel like if I'm going to give a book in this series 5 stars, it will be this one. Christian is reminding me a little bit of Reese from the second book, and Reese so far has been my favourite of the love interests. Alex has been my least favourite. Alex was the love interest in the first book, and I wasn't the biggest fan of him. There is a line when it comes to love interests in romance books. I don't like it when they're too possessive and unhinged, and Alex crossed that line. However, Christian is giving the vibes of he would burn down the world for Stella, but I don't know, it hasn't gone too far yet. That could come later on in the book, but so far it's good. I'm enjoying it. So I have just got out the shower, as you can possibly tell from my hair, but my plan this morning is to finish Twisted Lies, and I wanted to update you with some thoughts before I do that because I'm around 65% of the way through now. I was flying through this yesterday and I'm glad that I read this quite quickly because it is a very slow burn and it has more plot than the other books in this series. Christian is this security expert and he is helping Stella because she has this problem with someone is stalking her. There's also a lot going on with Stella's career and also Christian's business, and I don't know if I care that much about the actual plot. Like, I'm not reading these books for the plot, but the tension between the two main characters I think has been done really well. Yeah, there's been parts that have given me 5-star feelings. However, I am nervous that Christian is going to do something that's gonna make me not like him, and he's already on thin ice because the guy is unhinged. Some of his thought processes and some of the stuff that he does, it feels a bit random, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about this book by the end. But yeah, at the moment it's feeling like somewhere between a 4 and a 5 stars, which is good, obviously, because that's the whole point of this vlog. I'm excited to see how it all wraps up in terms of the plot because I have questions, and considering that this is the last book in the quartet, I am wondering how everything is going to be wrapped up. But yeah, I am going to stop rambling and finish this, and then I'll hopefully pop in later this afternoon to tell you my final thoughts. So I have now finished Twisted Lies by Huang, and unfortunately this wasn't a 5 stars. I did really like the romance in this, but unfortunately I wasn't the biggest fan of the plot. Towards the end it started to feel like a really cheesy action movie and it just wasn't my kind of thing. So yeah, I'm giving this 4 stars overall. I think it is my favourite book in the Twisted series so far. Well, I say so far, it's the last book in the Twisted series. I think Anna Huang's other series follows like side characters from this series. I need to look into it, but I'm pretty sure that it's like a companion series. But Twisted Lies wraps up this series. So yeah, glad I read this series because I don't really read that much dark romance, and I think it's shown me that I can enjoy dark romance sometimes. There's some dark romance tropes that just don't really work for me, but there's some that do, and this series has helped me to work through that. So glad that I did like this book, even if I didn't love it, and it does mean that I now need to pick a new book for this vlog, and I think the book that I'm gonna go for is Iris Kelly Doesn't Date by Ashley Herring-Blake. I do own a physical copy, but it's in the other room and I can't be bothered to go and get it. But I think I'm gonna start that maybe tomorrow now because it's getting quite late. What time is it? It's actually not that late. It's 8:30 on Saturday. So I think I'm gonna chill for the rest of this evening and then maybe read tomorrow. But I am going for breakfast with my mum in the morning, so I don't know what time I'm gonna get home, but I know that when I read the first two books in the Bright Falls series, they didn't take me that long to get through, so yeah, fingers crossed that that one is a 5 stars. The reason that I've saved this particular book for this point in the vlog is because I think it is going to be 5 stars. I gave the first two books in this series 5 stars, so I'm going to be disappointed if I give it anything less than 5 stars. But anyway, I will let you know once I've made a start on that. In the meantime, I am gonna chill for the rest of this evening. I might play The Sims for a bit, or I might watch BookTube, but yeah, I don't want to be up too late because I'm still not feeling 100%. I'm feeling a lot better than I was earlier in the week, but yeah, I don't want to be up too late. So I will catch up with you probably tomorrow.
Terrible things started happening when you walked away, so that's why I stay right here. 'Cause when all of my dreams seem so out of reach, you're crystal clear. You don't disappear, baby, no. So why would I unfollow you when you're the only thing unhollow me? And why would I try to hide the truth when I feel so empty without you?
Hello everyone, it is now Sunday afternoon. I am home from town and it has been raining today, so if my hair looks a mess then that is why. But I wanted to check in with some thoughts on Iris Kelly Doesn't Date by Ashley Herring-Blake because I have now started this. I am 66 pages in, so I've read the first 6 chapters, and so far I am liking this. I really like the characters, however the writing so far has felt a little bit clunky, and I don't remember feeling that way about the first 2 books, so I'm gonna see how that progresses. But yeah, I do really like the setup for this so far. In this we're following this main character called Iris Kelly, who, as it says in the title, doesn't do dating. She has been hurt too many times in the past and she's now only interested in keeping things casual. So one evening after a really stressful afternoon with her family, she heads out to this club where she meets Stevie. So Stevie is our other main character and she is going through a bit of a difficult time at the moment. She went through a breakup around 6 months ago and her girlfriend already has a new partner who is also one of their mutual friends. So one of Stevie's other friends convinces her to go to this club to try and find a one-night stand and to just let loose and have some fun. You can probably see where this is going. I feel like the blurb doesn't really explain the tone of the book. So Stevie has generalized anxiety disorder, and being inside her mind is quite difficult at times because it really goes there there, and it goes into detail on everything that she's thinking and feeling. The actual plot, I'm interested to see what direction it goes in, because I think it involves a theatre that needs saving. So Stevie's ex-girlfriend owns this theatre and they're in trouble. So I think that's what the general plot is gonna involve. So I'm excited to carry on reading this. Like I said, the writing feels a little bit clunky, and I don't know whether I'm going to be able to explain this right, but there was a scene where the characters were in this club, and I could tell that the author was trying to use inclusive language and things like that, but it didn't flow very well. And I think the problem is I'm comparing this to another book that I read earlier this year, and it's written by a non-binary author, and it has a non-binary side character who uses they them pronouns, and the writing in that book flowed so well. And I'm not a writer. I don't feel like I can say what is technically good writing and what's not, but the writing technique, it worked really well in my opinion. So yeah, not sure about the writing in this, but I'm going to carry on reading tonight, and I will hopefully catch up with you in the morning with some more thoughts. I am planning to get to the halfway point this evening if I can. So I have stumbled across a problem that I was not expecting to have with this vlog, because when I was planning out my potential TBR for this vlog, I thought to myself, okay, the first two books are going to be books that were chosen through my TBR game, so I didn't really have much control over them. Like Exes and O's was chosen through randomly scrolling through Instagram, and then Twisted Lies was chosen as a poll pick. So those two were books that were on my radar, but not like definite solid 5-star predictions. I knew there was a possibility that I would give them 5 stars and be surprised, but I knew that if I got to this point in the vlog where I needed a third book, then I needed a book that I thought genuinely was going to be 5 stars. Am I making sense? I don't know if I'm making sense, but I am getting nervous because at the halfway point of Iris Kelly Doesn't Date, I am not getting 5-star feelings yet, and it's difficult because I do really like the chemistry between the two main characters. I think Iris and Stevie are really cute together, but this is a fake dating romance, and the setup for the fake dating situation felt a little bit rushed to me. And it's ironic because Iris is a romance author, and at one point she actually thinks or says that fake dating isn't her favourite trope. It's actually one of my favourite tropes, which is why I'm struggling with this. But Iris actually says that the reason she doesn't like fake dating in a romance book is because it always feels unrealistic to her, and that's how I'm feeling towards this book, and it's just not quite working for me yet. And I'm really hoping that I love the second half, because I think there's still potential, but this has focused a lot on Stevie's friendship group, including her ex-girlfriend, who I cannot stand. I think that the people within Stevie's friendship group just aren't that well developed, and they're just not that interesting. And I want to be focusing on Iris's friendship group, who we've already met in the other 2 books, and I like them, I know them, and I want to see more of them. But yeah, this is just not giving me that 5-star feeling, yeah, and I'm really disappointed. So yeah, I'm having to face the reality that I might need a 4th book for this vlog. I don't know what book I'm going to pick up if this doesn't end up being a 5 stars. So yeah, welcome to the chaos. I was not expecting this to happen. I thought that if I saved this book for a point in the vlog where I was ready for it to be wrapped up, then it was going to be 5 stars. But yeah, it might not happen, and I'm a little bit scared. So I have just got home from work, and I thought I would update you with my thoughts on Iris Kelly Doesn't Date, because I did finish this last night. Also, I'm very sorry if the angle and the lighting in this clip is not the best, but it's getting really dark now in the evenings. It's only like like 6:15 and already it's pitch black outside. But yeah, I finished Iris Kelly Doesn't Date last night and I'm giving this 4 stars. I did enjoy the second half more than the first half, and I did really like the romance in this. I thought the steamy scenes were well written, and there was a moment in this that made me cry. Iris has been hurt a lot by relationships in the past, and she doesn't see herself as marriage material or as someone who people should take seriously, and it was heartbreaking. So seeing her and Stevie's relationship and the way that they learned to trust each other, it was beautiful in my opinion. So yeah, I feel really sad that I'm giving this only 4 stars, even though that's still a good rating. I think this could have been 5 stars if it hadn't been bogged down by unnecessary info dumping. I think I talked a little bit about the writing earlier, but essentially every time a side character would be introduced, and I say side characters, but honestly sometimes it wasn't even that. Sometimes 2 characters would be having a conversation about someone that they both know, and you would get this little paragraph telling you everything you need to know about that person, and then you'd never hear about them again, and it's just a pet peeve of mine. It just ends up making the writing feel sloppy to me. And also there was a mistake in this. There was a character who was described as having a Cockney accent, who was later described as being from Liverpool. If you're from Liverpool, you don't have a Cockney accent, you have a Scouse accent. And it was stuff like that that, yeah, made me feel like the writing in this just was a little bit sloppy. And yeah, it is a shame because this had 5-star potential, but there was too much that annoyed me and frustrated me. So I'm giving it 4 stars, and yeah, it was still worth reading. Like, if you've enjoyed this series so far, then I think it's still worth giving this a go. It just wasn't my favourite in the series, which is obviously a shame. I have now decided on the next book that I'm going to read for this vlog, and that is Something Wild and Wonderful by Anita Kelly. I have this on my Kindle, so I'll put a picture on the screen here so you can see, but this has really good ratings on Goodreads. I've heard only positive things about it, so even though it's a bit of a wild card because I haven't read anything by Anita Kelly before, because this has such high praise, I think there's a possibility that I might give it 5 stars. So yeah, I'm going to start this tonight, and then once I have some initial thoughts, I will let you know. Good morning. It is now Thursday. I've had quite a few busy days at work this week, so I haven't been the best at updating this vlog, but I am now halfway through Something Wild and Wonderful by Anita Kelly, and this is really good so far. I feel like I might have found another book that's gonna make me cry, and I don't know if I'm ready for it. I've already teared up a little bit at certain points, but yeah, I don't think I explained what this is about. So basically this is following Ben and Lex, and they meet because they're both hiking the PCT, I want to call it. It's this big long trail that runs from Southern California to Canada, I think. I'm not from the US, so I'm not too familiar with it, but it's a pretty big deal because it takes months to hike this trail, and both of these guys have different reasons for doing this trail, but they meet literally on the first page. I wasn't expecting them to meet so quickly, so that was a little bit jarring initially. However, I really like the characters. They end up hiking this trail together, and Ben is really enthusiastic about it, whereas Lex is more introverted, and he's been through a lot over the last few months. He recently came out as gay to his parents and they disowned him, so it's been really heartbreaking at times, hence why I've almost cried. I do really like the relationship relationship that's developing between the two main characters, and it's just so sweet. It's not got like a lot of angst, it's much more gentle and slow, and it's just so sweet. I feel like the title really sums up what the book's about. I also generally really like books that make me feel like I'm going on a journey with the characters. Weird comparison, but I read a thriller last year that was set on a mountain, and the thriller mystery side of the plot wasn't that great, but I really enjoyed feeling like I was there on this mountain with these characters, and I'm feeling a similar way about this book. I like feeling as if I'm there within the setting, so this is going really well so far. Like I said, I'm halfway through and I'm hoping to finish this by the weekend. Sorry, I'm struggling with my words today. I'm hoping to finish this by the weekend, but I'm also watching this new TV programme at the moment. It's called Bodies on Netflix and it's really good, so I think me and my partner are going to watch an episode of that tonight. So I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done, but I will let you know probably once I've finished this. I don't know whether I'm going to need to do another update because I am enjoying it so much that when I'm picking it up I don't want to put it down. So it is now time to wrap up this vlog because I have now finished Something Wild and Wonderful by Anita Kelly and I'm giving it 5 stars. I don't even know where to start with talking about this book, but it was just my perfect kind of romance. I really loved the emotional connection between the characters, and I had no idea. Apparently this is technically a companion novel. I think there was another book that came out first, and the main characters from that book appear as side characters in this book. Then there's also another companion story that is coming out next year, but I didn't have any problems with reading this as a standalone. I didn't even realise it was a companion novel until I got to the end. So yeah, just something that I wanted to mention. I loved Lex and Ben's relationship. I thought this captured perfectly the awkwardness that you sometimes feel when you like someone and you don't know how to handle it and you don't know what to do about it. I thought that that was done really well. Also, a really niche thing that I like in a romance book is when one character sees another character getting all excited about something that they're passionate about and they're thinking to themselves, hey, that's really attractive. I agree. And so I really love seeing that within fiction as well. I think it would have been really easy to find this book frustrating because the characters do make mistakes and they don't always communicate perfectly, but they acknowledge when they do something wrong or when they could have handled a situation better, and they learn and they grow from it, and I really appreciated that. People aren't perfect, and I just thought that this felt really realistic and authentic, and yes, there was conflict that made me feel a little bit angry and frustrated, but I was crying towards the end because I just wanted everything for these characters. I just wanted everything to be okay, and I think it is a testament to the author that they made me feel that invested in the characters. So yeah, I am giving this 5 stars, and you might have seen actually this week, I think this week at the time this video is going live, but the Goodreads Choice Award nominees were announced earlier this week, and there has been a lot of criticism of the romance category because it isn't that diverse, and I completely agree. It's unacceptable that there's only one author of colour who's been nominated, and there could have been more LGBTQ+ romances included as well, like Something Wild and Wonderful. This came out I think in March, so it would have been eligible. While it might not have as much hype and as much ratings, it could have been nominated, and I think a lot of people would really love this book. So yeah, I am gonna wrap up the vlog here. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, and also let me know what was the last 5-star romance that you read. I feel like doing this challenge has just made me feel really excited to read romance, but I don't know if I have many left on my TBR for this year. But yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and click subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. But otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye.